Welcome, everybody, back to Stranger Damies. This is Campaign 2. If you're watching us live on Twitch or maybe on YouTube, you can see we're now doing full video, and there's the map that I drew in the middle of the screen there. All the character portraits are below me, and then our 5 heroes are up top there with all their new names and characters. We got the Twitch chat over there. Guys, before we get started, we all excited? We ready to go?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, let's start it off. New campaign, which means new theme song. Let's start it off with our new theme song here. And special shout out and thanks to Lavalette for letting us use this theme song. So, guys, are you ready to play Campaign 2 of Stranger Damies?
Yes,
Finally, please.
All right, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Looking for an answer. Looking for an answer to soothe my soul, baby. Take me away. Looking for an answer. Looking for an answer to soothe my soul, baby. Take me away.
All right. Thank you once again, Lavalette, for that theme song. It's their song "Wasted Love." Be sure to check it out on iTunes and all that. Guys, let us enter the world of Volsaf. Our campaign is set on the continent of Volsaf, as I mentioned, a land that is always on the verge of war, but not between the humanoids and giants, as you would think, but between the non-giants themselves. The two warring empires of the Twilight Seeker dynasty and the Jordan Dominion has been going on for many, many centuries. As they enter their 50th year of peace, the kindles of war are beginning to appear, and while some have a thirst for it, others are trying to stop it. But for most citizens of Volstaff, they are just trying to ignore it and live their lives. Unknown to all, the land is a tinderbox, just waiting for a spark. But our journey begins on a slightly smaller scale, on the Emerald Brook coast, where a thunderstorm has settled in. Loud crashes of thunder conceal the footsteps of our two humanoid figures as they run through the forest. But the nearby lightning strike illuminates the area briefly and reveals their location to their pursuers. An arrow whizzes by the head of the more heavily armed of the two and pierces a nearby tree and sets it ablaze. There is no more hiding as the burning tree brightens the forest all the way to the coast. So, Aunt Dan, what are you guys thinking as you're going through this forest?
I immediately cover Barris. I tell him, Barris, run, keep going. I turn around, I fire from my 6-shooter.
Yeah,
Barris runs.
Yep, so, you turn around, fire, roll to hit.
A 22.
22, that definitely hits. You nail the person that shot the arrow at you about 60 meters away. And he falls down, but there's still dozens of footsteps trailing behind you guys. You approach a clearing. As you enter that, you look behind you and just see this massive force of people coming towards you. But you turn around to see in the white sand riverbed and lots of stones and pebbles thrown around, but you look up and you see a respectable sized ship anchored at the coast. With 3 figures of different size watching you guys flee. So, Jen, Jonathan, and Tom, what are you guys doing as you see Baragon and Barris emerge from the forest?
Did that guy just fire a gun? What's a gun?
What's a gun?
It's a much more powerful bow. I guess.
Ignatius, we have to get you off this land a bit more. I think you're starting to be a little, narrow-minded a bit.
Well, that's not my fault. This is where I'm from.
So I guess we're just watching this unfold, this action.
I keep shooting, by the way. I'm just constantly
Who are
shooting.
they being chased by?
You guys don't see. They're still within the forest.
Mark.
Yes.
So to explain, that we are running from one group and we are running towards another group that are just as ornery as the ones we're fleeing.
Yes.
And I'm assuming to our side, either the left or the right, is where we see the ship.
Yeah. So and to fill in a little bit more, we tried a little bit different of a start here, but you, Barris, had put in like a notice to have a ship come pick you up in this location a few months ago, and
If I know anything about this ship that I'm expecting, does this ship look like the ship I'm expecting, or no?
yeah, you roll a perception check to see. 14. The ship doesn't look as great as the captain led you to believe when you met with her to set this up, but you do notice the very unmistakable look of Surreal standing on the boat, sort of waving you towards the shore.
So I turn to Barry and I say, well, it's not quite the yacht and pleasure cruise that we used to follow this ship, but what do you say we amscray over there?
It's a good idea, Battis. Let's go.
So we run towards that ship.
Yeah. So you guys run over towards the ship. The three of you on there, what are you doing to help them get up onto the ship?
I'm standing there with my arms crossed because I'm not happy that all of this action is coming towards my ship. So I'm
How
just
far
standing
away?
here like,
And
How far away are
I'm just gonna kick like a board down so they can run up it.
Okay. So give me athletics checks, Baragon and Barris, as you try to climb this wood plank that has just been thrown in front of you.
Athletics, not good.
Well, that's a 3.
ooh.
7.
Yeah, so you see them get a few steps
There's the-
up the plank and slide right back down, Ignatius.
Maybe a little bit more assistance there, giant man.
I'm gonna throw a rope down to help pull them up.
Yeah, and then you guys see emerge next to Ignatius this giant, like, metallic-looking figure, and to you, as you see the rain just sort of bouncing off them as they throw down a rope, and then you guys can easily use the rope to pull up onto the ship. As you guys get up there, you turn around, and you see emerging from the cloud a giant 10-foot, looks like a humanoid cloud, just comes in and inhales, and right before it's about to let go, you notice, the three of you that have been on the ship and have not been chased, they have let about 2 to 3 dozen soldiers running out of the forest with this humanoid cloud. And do you do anything to try to get away, Captain Surreal?
Oh yeah. I'm running around the ship now because I fucking hate soldiers. I'm like, we gotta go right now. Everyone get on the ship. Let's go. We're leaving right now. And I'm like, untying things, and I'm trying to get the sails to fluff, and I cast Unseen Servant, and I'm like, hoist the anchors! Throwing out all these pirate lingos because I haven't studied up on enough of it yet. And I'm just trying to get the hell out of here as fast as possible.
Hoist the anchors.
Is there
Hoist the
a
anchors.
way, Captain, for you to make haste a little bit more hastily?
Well, maybe if you guys help me out, we can get going a bit faster. How about that?
Barry, help them out. I do not do manual labor.
So as soon as you,
Fine, you look weak anyways.
How far away are they, Mark?
they're probably at this point
Mark.
about 100 feet or so out.
Do I notice anyone who's other than the giant cloud man? Do I notice anyone who might be higher ranking?
No, they just all look like normal soldiers to you from this distance away. And just as you give me a perception check, as everyone else is running around, the anchor's being pulled up. You're looking in to this crowd.
18.
18. Yeah. So you spot immediately. You're like, all right, this just looks like, regular infantry soldiers, not any kind of high ranking there. But as you're looking in, you see the giant figure let out the air that he had breathed in, and it hits the sail just as Surreal has pulled up the anchor, and you guys take off from the coast at a speed you're not really comfortable traveling, Surreal, but it is getting you away from this danger at this point.
Thanks.
So we've just left dock. Is that what we're saying?
Yeah, you guys shoot out, and the coast that you just left gets smaller and smaller really quickly until you cannot see it anymore. And then once you come to a stop, sort of, as you are, on the waves, you are far enough away that you can't see anything behind you. But give me a perception check, Surreal.
I'm sorry, I rolled a 17.
17. So you notice as soon as you come to the stop, you can see the land of the Enclave. About a few, probably right along the horizon. So, you can get over there within a few hours. And at least be able to dock on somewhat friendly territory as you leave the borders of the Twilight Seeker dynasty.
Okay.
Surreal, what kind of trouble did you get us into this time?
I am not the one that just led a bunch of soldiers to my ship. I would never do that. But that's neither here nor there. We should be able to get to the next island in about 3 to 4 hours if we, continue at this pace.
Barris goes
I've-
and looks for the captain's quarters. He doesn't ask questions to the captain where it is. He just goes and looks for it.
Give me an investigation check and see how quickly you find it.
9. Rolling well so far.
Thank God we're not in combat. That's all
Yeah.
I care.
Yeah, so with that 9, it takes you a lot longer than you would like, and also it definitely is below the passive perception of Surreal, and she kind of notices you poking around the ship.
Exactly what you're looking for.
Oh, I'm just looking for a shady spot. Get out of harm's way if you say. Do you got a captain quarters over here where I might rest for a little bit? We've been running around for quite some time. Me and my esteemed colleague here, Barry. We need to find a place to rest a little bit.
I do have a captain's quarters, not for you, because you're not the captain. But you can maybe lay down in a corner somewhere below decks. How does that
corner,
sound?
Is there like a nice chair there, or there's something that I could maybe put my feet up? That I'm not quite used to. A damp corner, as it seems like you have presented to me as a place to rest. Simply will not do.
I may have a bag of potatoes you can lay on. Would that be comfortable for you, Your Highness?
Is that a euphemism? No, you don't need to give me the gallantry of Your Highness. I'm just simply Barrister Monte at your service. This is my master at arms, Baragon Balbinski.
Strong name.
Captain.
Nice to meet you, Barry. Barragond, was it?
Barry is fine. Barry is
Alright.
fine.
All right. Well, like I said, you can find somewhere to lay down below decks. And next time we stop at a port where we're not going to get murdered as soon as we step foot off the ship, maybe we could find you some proper bedding. How does that sound?
It will have to do. I'll make use of what you have below deck.
All right. Enjoy.
All right. So he's gonna find some. More or less, he's gonna ask Barry to find him something to sit on. Maybe a crate that he can put like a handkerchief down to sit down. He doesn't want to ruin his fancy clothes.
So,
I'll find a shady spot for Barris.
give me an investigation check and see how long it takes you.
Okay.
22.
22. You're used to doing this for Varys. This is one of the things where you know his taste, you know what he's looking for, and you go and you find a nice little part of the where most of the crew would sleep, and you sort of reorganize it to be more to his liking and private off it a little bit, section it off a little bit. So, yeah, you get him settled in. He has his own private quarters, in quotes, on this ship here. Rex, what are you doing at the moment on the ship?
I assume that I'm still working on trying to get the ship in ship shape, and then also trying to dealing with the rigging and stuff like that, since we took off faster than expected.
And Ignatius, are you doing anything particular, or do you want to talk to anybody on the ship?
I imagine I'm just helping Rex at this moment, because clearly we were not prepared.
I mean, who gets prepared for things, right, guys?
Also, I heard some of their conversation, and I did not want to get involved with Varys.
I don't need to be ordered around by anybody else.
Yeah.
I'll make my way up to the deck. I just kind of want to check the surroundings, maybe see. I didn't get a chance to really notice the other members of the crew, so you just kind of, since I'm not really sure where I'm at, just kind of take a look at them and size them up a bit.
Yeah, give me a you can roll a perception and just kind of look them over, or an insight if you want to try and read them. Like whichever way you want to go with that.
I'm gonna do, you know what? I'll do an insight check. Why not? 19.
19? Oh.
Is that for both of them or just for one?
Just pick one.
Like, do you want me to do? Okay. I'm gonna take a look at the big man. I want to. He seems like he could be a pretty big threat, so I just want to see if he's on the level.
Okay, just to let you know, both of them are pretty large, Dan.
Okay. The half giant looking guy.
Big man.
So, Ignatius, you're going around helping on the boat. Is there anything about your attitude or just surface things that Baragon would be picking up on if he's watching you walk around?
I'm a little nervous because I've never seen a giant cloud thing before running towards me. But for the most part, I'm keeping to myself and just getting my work done.
Yeah. So you basically read him as sort of, he works with Serial here. Maybe wasn't fully informed of the plans, and everything that just happened is kind of, not something he's used to in terms of what's going on. So you don't read him as a threat. So. Also,
I'm enthralled by the fact that he has something called a gun.
Yeah, you see him taking a look every so often, trying to sort of see what that thing you were firing was. You noticed that.
I noticed that. I'll take the gun out and I'll gesture over to him. You wondering what this is?
Well, yeah, I've never seen one before. What exactly does it do?
I'll point it in the air and I'll squeeze the trigger. And
Well, that was really loud. Could you warn me next time, please?
Well, one thing, you have to roll, Dan, because there are a couple special things with shooting a gun, as Ant would know.
To see if it explodes in his hand.
Exactly.
Dead.
It's dead already.
I rolled an 18.
That's
so I
fine.
think it's okay. Yeah.
Essentially, you don't want to roll a 1, 2, or 3 at this point, or else you'll have to fix your gun. So be aware of that when you're just firing it for fun.
Randomly.
Fun.
I'll walk over to the half giant. This is Wits. It's my handgun. It's basically a form of crossbow. It's newer.
Okay, that makes sense.
Just careful with it, and I'll let him hold it.
Roll an intelligence check for me, Ignatius.
Oh, good. Oh, 18.
So you've never seen one up close, but you've heard of a new kind of ranged weapon that's being developed in the Zordon Dominion. Because with that intelligence check, you know that they are notorious for creating magical devices. And this one, as far as you can tell from your limited, knowledge of weapons, looks pretty magical. You've never seen anything fire or make that noise before.
That's very interesting. I don't see myself needing one, but here you go. Thank
While he's holding the gun, I'm still I'm casing him. What does he look like?
Yeah, so, for the audience that may not have tuned into our character episodes, or they would have heard you yet, Tom, go ahead and describe what Ignatius looks like.
Sure. Ignatius is wearing a large brown cloak with a hood. He's rather large. He's probably about 8 feet tall, I would imagine. He's half giant. He has his fists and feet wrapped in like a gauze sort of thing, kind of like a fighter would have. He's got a big beard, and he likes to kind of keep his face covered.
Yeah, and I should have done this earlier when Barris and Cyril were talking. Just go ahead and describe what they were seeing of each other, just on the outside, look, clothes-wise.
Should we do that now?
Yeah, go ahead now. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So for Surreal, she's got long brown hair, tan skin, freckles. She has her hair kind of braided on the sides and kind of fluffed up in the front out of her face, and then all of it's kind of just tucked together in a braid in the back. So being on a ship, obviously your hair is going to get pretty messed up, so she's trying to avoid that as much as possible. She's got mainly a black and gold color scheme, a lot of leather and suede, typical pirate, I guess, garb, tall boots. She has some red silks on her, and you notice that her gold accents that she has, it's for fashion and also function. So she's got like big gold skulls on her shoulders of her jacket. That's kind of sort of like armor. She's got some rings on her fingers, which are for fashion, but also for maybe doing some extra damage if she were to punch somebody, that kind of stuff. So she's got her weapons hanging from a big belt around her waist. That's pretty much what she looks like.
Barris is a tiefling. They have a long undercut haircut that goes to the side. He is a reddish color, almost like somebody that has a sunburn. He has heterochromia, so his eyes are two different colors, and he's dressed to the nines. He's got this bright blue, perfect suit on, perfect shoe, like nice boots, And the only thing that the outside to what he's carrying is a walking stick.
And let's just have Baragon be introduced, and then I have a cool way for Rex. So go ahead.
Sure. So Baragon is a human, and he is in his late 30s. He's a sub-sixer. He's about 5'9", 5'10". Bit of a dad bod going on. He has a grayish-green cloak wrapped around him, and he is almost the exact opposite looking of Barris. His clothes are a little tattered. It shows that he's been roughed up a little bit. He has a chest plate that is somehow not dented or dinged or anything like that. It doesn't look like it matches the rest of his clothes. And he has on his back a rifle, and on his side he has a 6-shooter. Plain black boots that have been weathered, and again they've seen a lot of mileage. And he has a not a big bushy black beard, but it's a big enough black beard where again it's got like sticks in it. He's very unkempt at the moment.
Got stick with it.
So Baragon, as you were talking to Iggy about your gun there, you just hear a giant slam behind you. And you turn around and see the other figure on the boat just throw down a pile of ropes just onto the ground. Jonathan, what does Rex look like as Baragon turns and looks at him?
All right. So Rex is a copper-colored robot wearing a leather jacket covered in lots of patches, as well as combat boots. And he's very his body is heavy armor, and so he's a very large and very heavy. And so I throw down these ropes, and then why am I doing that, Mark?
You were helping get the ship ready. You were just
Okay.
sort of getting, you guys hurried and just kind of got it out of the water, and now you're just bringing everything up onto the deck that was hanging off the side.
Okay.
I just couldn't think of anything bigger that you would be slamming because you're not moving cargo or anything. That would make
Sure.
Baragon look over at you. So you guys are, settling in your big, very easy route across, the Emerald Brook here as you're heading from Marley over to the Enclave. Is there anything else, any other conversations you want to have before you arrive in the safety of the Hill Giant Enclave?
I'd like to talk to the giant metal man. 'Cause, this kind of thing, very fascinated by. Would I know what he is? Would I have any background knowledge on what he is?
Give me an intelligence check.
That is not good. That's a 5.
A 5. Despite the time that you've spent in, the Zordon Dominion in your life, you've heard of metal golems, as you sort of perceived it as, that they have been trying to create so that they can have an unlimited army sort of idea. But you've never seen one up close, and they look a lot more lifelike to you than the golems you've run into before.
Okay. I'll
Rex
make
seems more lifelike and sentient, right?
Yeah.
I'll make my way over to him. Privyet, metal man. You are very curious looking. Are you a construct? What are you?
Yes. You see that my skin is metal, right? Seems like a
Never really
seems like a pretty obvious answer.
I have not seen something like you before. You are very curious. What is your name?
Thanks. My name's Rex.
Nice to meet you, Rex. Thank you for your help.
You're welcome. Is your friend always gonna be like that the whole time here?
He's a, he means well. He's not used to this, so give him time. But he's a good person.
Whatever you say.
And, again, I'll bow my head and say, thank you very much. Walk away.
Nice to meet you.
Okay. So as you approach the coast, Serial knows of a dock that sort of isn't patrolled much, that you can pull off to just to make sure you guys are safe. As you settle in, Rex and Ignatius go around and sort of get the boat anchored and tied into the dock. They've done this plenty of times before. Serial, or Surreal, sorry. It's going to take me a couple. It's going to take me a couple sessions to not make that mistake.
We call her Captain Crunch.
Captain Crunch, yeah.
It's done. There
That-
it is.
Yeah.
Couldn't even make us one session.
Stop it.
Okay. Okay.
man.
Yeah. So Surreal. As you guys get there, you walk on over to Barris to find out where exactly we need to go from here.
So Barris, what's our next plan of action here?
Yes, that's right. Sorry for the kind of hasty introductions before. We weren't expecting when we first met up again to have two armies of people chasing after us. But yes, we need to look for the Enclave. I have a meeting with the mayor on Tana of Himmelberg. We need to talk to him. He's supposed to be offering me, what you call it, I don't even know the word I'm trying to say.
Restitution.
No, salvation. Let's just say that.
Right, and do you have any idea
It's on the
where?
tip of my fucking tongue.
Do you have any idea where this mayor is?
Sanctuary, my good man. That is the word I was looking for. He's looking to give us sanctuary for at least a
Respite.
small amount of time.
Right, and do you know where the mayor is, or are we kind of going in blind?
As blind as you can be, said Enclave. See me in the Enclave. That is what that letter said.
Yeah. So I think Surreal. I think.
Does anybody know that?
I think Barris's audio cut out a little bit. It's the mayor of Emberberg, which roll. I guess it'd be intelligence for you as well to see what you remember, because you know all these towns up and down the coast.
E.
Can Rex also roll?
Yeah,
Or help out
yeah.
with this?
You said intelligence.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess just give her advantage.
Yeah. Roll with
Rex
advantage.
is from the Enclave of Hill Giants, and so
Yeah.
he would also know
Yeah.
some of these towns
Right.
and stuff like that.
What did you roll, Surreal?
18,
18?
and then I roll 14. I roll with advantage, right?
Correct. So roll it.
18.
18. Okay. You know that, and Rex would know this as well, that Emberberg is just a little bit down the coast. You guys won't have far. You should get there by the end of the day. And what you know of it is it's a town that's very, lively and bright, and it's one of the coastal towns that people go for R&R to sort of relax and they have a very famous bar there, which Rex would know and would have told you, is known as the Vivid Fire, that is over there. And it's a place where people have play music, or they just go there just to drown their sorrows, whichever way they're feeling. So you basically, you guys both know where to go for this.
Okay. Well, might I suggest going to the Vivid Fire first, at least? I'm sure we can all use a pint and kind of relax a bit and maybe try to track down the mayor. Rest, you know.
Hell yeah, always up for going to the Vivid Fire.
I'm unfamiliar with this location, so I will follow your lead. I will cover the first round at the very least, and
That's fine with
we'll
me.
go from there.
That may be interesting.
Before we leave, I want to cast Find Familiar.
Okay.
And you guys see a big, and you probably have seen him here already, but for the audience, you see this big, chunky, block-headed, gray pit bull appear. And he's wearing a big, thick, black leather collar with a matching gold skull on it that matches the ones on my shoulders. And I say, Chunk, we're going to go. You stay here and guard the ship, as you always do. And
You
we'll
are now
have him-
Captain Chunk.
Yes, you are now the captain, Chunk, and you do well, please. And I'll have him just kind of guard the ship, just in case, you know, people try to sneak aboard.
Yeah. So Chunk takes command of the ship, and you guys head off. Emberberg is probably just a couple hours walk. It's not far. You pulled off onto like a side dock, sort of, so you didn't really get, maybe not run into anybody you didn't want to run into, especially seeing groups of soldiers chasing after Barris there. Real quick, is anyone of you five, I forgot to check with your thing, proficient in Arcana?
Yeah.
Okay, whoever is, roll an Arcana check for me for something that I should have had you do a little bit ago.
Rex will give Surreal advantage again.
Perfect. My first roll is a 16.
Yeah. Okay.
Second roll is a 15. So 16.
Okay, so 16. So I don't know if you explained this to the group, but Surreal, you know that giant cloud humanoid-looking thing that sort of helped you escape was an air elemental.
Okay.
That was being used by that army to sort of attack Barris and Baragon, and you probably think that they may have had a little bit to do with the weather over there as well. Not 100% sure, not a high enough roll to kind of, but you're just taking things that you've seen in the past.
Okay.
Around there, so.
Noted.
As we're walking into town, I'm gonna kind of pull Barris, just not like noticeably to the side or anything, just kind of nudge him a little bit from the group. Just I'm gonna whisper to him, Barris, be careful here. We don't know where we are. Play low.
Well, I'll do as well as I can to adhere to your advice. Thanks for the nice shot back there. Really got us out of that pickle.
Welcome. Let's just be careful. We're kind of forced to trust these people at the moment, but be on your guard.
Sure thing. But sometimes my nature is a little more flamboyant than say laying low allows.
Well, just remember, there might be a time when I am not there to help. So
I will look to keep my mouth shut at the most opportune times. How about that?
I'll just put my arm around Barris and give him a quick squeeze, and I'll keep walking.
Okay, so the five of you approach Emberberg, and as you approach, it's kind of near dusk at this point. Everybody roll a perception check as you approach.
15.
16.
15.
14.
Okay. So you all got everyone got above a 10, which
21 for me.
which is good. Yeah. So over 20. So as you approach the entry to the town, the four of you notice that or three of you that aren't Rex and Surreal, notice that the town isn't as lively as they described to you. And for the two of you, this seems very out of the ordinary. Not anything nefarious, it's just that none of the lanterns that they're known for, the hanging lanterns through town, are really lit at all, which is very odd. And as you're walking up into town, you see a really large figure and a really small figure sort of looking up at one of the lanterns and kind of having a discussion about it as you guys approach the entry to town.
Weird. It's rather dark here. This is not normal.
I guess Rex wants to talk to the people looking at one of the lanterns. Hey, what's going on with the lanterns? We were hoping there'd be a party going at the Vivid Fire.
And you see the large figure turn around, and for those of you, it's plainly obvious that this is a giant. And he turns around and goes, "Oh well, as you see, there's no lights here. We don't know what's going on with the lights. Just flickered one day and they haven't come back on. We don't know what to do." And the little guy goes, "Why don't we just hit it with a spell or something? Just hit it." And it's a little dwarf standing next to him. Maybe that'll do it.
I concur with the dwarf.
And he goes, "Does anybody, you lot, you look new. Do you guys have anything that maybe set this ablaze?"
I don't.
I have something, but I don't know if it might be too powerful. Well, candlelight. I'll snap my fingers on my gauntlets. And I'll shoot a firebolt at the.
Okay.
I'll shoot a firebolt at
Yeah.
it.
So roll to hit to make sure you hit it.
Please have a low AC. 17.
17. So you send the firebolt, it hits it. The thing ignites, and you guys see that light that you've seen multiple times, Surreal and Rex. It lights on, and the giant and the dwarf are giant smiles on their face. Looks like finally figured it out. Yeah, and then you notice a couple minutes later it just dissipates and dulls out again.
I go over to Barry and I say, "For someone that just told me to keep a low profile, to shoot fireballs out of their fingertips, maybe you should take your own advice for maybe a little second or two there, Barry."
Well, I did not think that was anything crazy. Just trying to light a fire.
Right. Well,
I get your point.
Yeah. And the giant looks over and goes, "Thank you. I guess we still got to think about this. Gunner, let's go check in with the arcane experts that are in town." And the dwarf says, "All right, Todd, let's head on out." And the two of them walk into town, and I'm assuming you guys follow in behind. As you walk in, everything about this town is the far cry from the description you guys gave. The normal jovial streets that would be full of people, having fun under the lantern light. It's very now empty and melancholy. The hanging lanterns all sit dark. And then obviously the way this is set up, you guys can see without really needing to roll a check. The Vivid Fire sits at the end of the street that you guys are walking down. But I'll have you all roll perception again as you approach the building.
Ooh. Dirty 20.
11.
6.
Natural 1.
13.
Yeah, so all of you except Rex. Rex is just completely distraught that this town is not how he remembers it. He he had a good time and had some really good musical experiences here. But seeing it like this, he's kind of confused and distraught, looking around. But the four of you, you notice that the giant fire pit, which Surreal, is where the fire crystals are housed for the place that sort of lights the lanterns and keeps them lit, and what allows it to sort of just not really need any replenishing of magic to keep the town, under lamplight. You notice that all those crystals are really dull, like just looks like the rest of the thing, and just looks like, it's kind of out here. And you notice a couple of those arcane specialists. You see a couple hill giants, one with like a clipboard looking thing, kind of looking over. You see a wizard, like an elf looking wizard, shoot a fire spell, different from what Baragon did into it, and it lights it up for a few seconds and then dulls again, and they sort of check it out, and it just sort of seems like everybody's trying to figure out what the hell happened to all the lights in the town here.
All right. I'll point out the fire crystals to the group and just let them know. I believe these are usually the source of the light for the lanterns, and they seem to be out. I feel like something bigger than what it seems is going on here.
Okay. Barris is going to find a table in the corner, big enough to house all of us, and he's going to sit with his back towards the corner, facing the door.
Mafioso style.
He's going to usher everybody over.
So as you enter the pub, the lack of light in there imbues like a dour, depressive aura. That is not what the tales you've heard led you to believe. There's a passed out dwarf at the bar, just head on the counter there, and behind it is an older human who has really that bartender aura where it looks like he's seen a lot, but you feel really comfortable and you can trust him, if you talk to him. Behind the bar, sort of wiping up, just kind of trying to, bide his time. Nobody's really ordering anything. Barris goes to the back, finds his seating, and the rest of you enter in to the Vivid Fire.
How many people are in the bar?
Just the passed out dwarf.
The passed out dwarf. Okay.
Yeah.
I check for any traps or anything along those lines.
So give me an investigation check.
8.
8. It looks like a bar to you. Nothing really stands out. It doesn't even look like it's defended. Like they never really have anything attack it or anything. So
It's a
windows, windows are open. So you're normally looking for defense and stuff, and you're kind of just like, oh yeah, this would just be a bar, as John said, why am I okay? And then you don't find anything as you go through.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go sit down next to Barris.
Can never be too careful, right, Baragon?
Like I said, I don't know where we are. This is Sorry, I'll try to be more relaxed.
That's why I keep you around, man. You take a look out for things that I ain't even thinking about.
Didn't the funny-speaking red guy say he was gonna buy us all drinks?
You guys at the table?
That's what I was gonna say. I'm gonna sit down at the table, next to Barris and Baragond.
Same.
So I've noticed the two of you seem to be quite on edge a lot, and I feel like we need to know why that is, because, my friends and I are kind of here with you now, and I feel like if we're in danger, we need to know about it. That's kind of the vibe that you're giving off, honestly.
Oh, I would agree with you on the fact that we were being chased by an army, so I understand that why you would get that feeling from us. Have you ever heard of the Dormontes? My name is Barris Dormonte. I want to see how much that name travels these here parts. Dormonte, does that name ring a bell?
Would I know?
roll intelligence to check your memory.
Would that be history, maybe?
Well, they're not. It would just be her memory of them, not so much their history.
11.
11. You only you've heard the name a little bit of, and it's really just at the docks. People just talking about having, run into and talk to, person by that name. You're not even sure if it's the same. It just, you've heard that name when you were up in the, the docks near in the Twilight Seeker dynasty in particular. But nothing that stands out, that would make you, you're not studied in the families of the dynasty. So.
Honestly, I travel a lot. That I might have heard the name passing through a town or so. Is that you? Is that someone you know?
Yes, so the Doramontes of Marley, that was my family. Very well-off family. My father was a lord of sorts in that area. And this here, the Baragon is my master at arms. He was my father's master at arms up until a few weeks ago. I guess we're going to call it weeks, right, Mark?
Yeah.
Timeline-wise. But then, while I was at boarding school, Baragon comes in one day and says, "Hey, we need to get out of here. You're under, your family has been under attack, and you are in danger." Come to find out that my family and their estates has been completely wiped out by another family by the name of the Delacroix. So we are on the run of no reason for what I've ever done. My father's a great man. I don't think there's anything that he's ever done neither. But then I get this letter telling me to come here to the Enclave and speak to the mayor. He says that he can help us because he heard of what happened to my family. Now, usually my riches are infinite, but currently I'm finding myself quite finite in my financial situation. So, while I can offer you this round and possibly even the next, there is a limit to where my riches will go, but I assure you that is a hoping temporary situation.
I understand. I'm sorry to hear of your family. Well,
we would greatly appreciate the discretion, Captain.
understood. I can do that. I want you guys to know, and I don't know if you even knew this, that giant cloudy creature that was chasing you before we set sail, that was an air elemental. I don't know if you guys have ever dealt with those before. That's very powerful stuff. So this family that you said overtook your own, do you know much about them and clearly the powers that they wield? Because that's something very serious.
That is the first time I ever encountered an elemental. He had relations with that. No, I don't mean sexually. I'm sorry. It sounded weird.
No judgments here.
The Delacroix, they're not far from where we come from, so their political and social dealings with them, but not so much so that they would, massacre my family and the people that work underneath them. So this is the first of any knowledge I would have that they were capable of such a thing.
All right. Well, that's something we need to keep in mind. But hopefully they don't continue to track us. And I will take that drink now, please.
Of course. So I motion for the bartender.
Yeah, and he comes walking over, sort of, brushes his hand on the apron that he's wearing, and he goes, "So how can I help you guys?"
Well, I believe I owe my friends here a round of spirits, so I'll let them order for themselves, and I can put that on my tab. If you do so kindly.
No problem. So Uh, do you guys want anything besides ale?
2 for me, please. It's about the same as 1 for a normal person.
Nothing for me, thank you.
Are you sure?
I'll let you choose. Go ahead.
We've been through a lot, Barry. You don't want to drink.
Well, like my friend said, we are kind of taking care of our financial situation. So I'll pass this time. Next time.
You can bring him a drink, and if he won't drink it, I'll drink it for him, please. So I'll have your strongest ale and make it double for Barry and I.
Okay. So those and he looks over and he points at Rex. He's like, "You. I've seen you before.
Yeah?
You had that kick-ass show like 2 years ago, weren't you?"
Oh, yeah. Thanks. Glad you remember.
Oh man. Since you guys are hanging out with your name's Rex, correct?
Yeah.
Awesome. You know what? First drink on me. You guys got a celebrity here. And he sort of walks away to go grab your ales.
I just look very suspiciously at Rex. I suss Rex. What? A celebrity, huh? Mind explaining
Yeah.
that?
I mean, that show must have been when I was still with the Boys of Summer, and we went on tour and we played a lot of raucous shows. That's why I was hoping this place was going to be a lot livelier, so that we'd be able to have a good party. But this is a little bit lame.
So
One of the tenets of the Church of Rock and Roll is that we have to tithe, so give 10% of our earnings to places that help foster community, and like bars. So,
Is there any other celebrities in our midst? It'd be very nice to know that ahead of time.
I can say for a fact I am not a celebrity of any sort.
What about
Nor
you,
am I.
Giant Man? Nope.
Nope. No, I'm more of an outcast than a celebrity.
Well, that fits.
you can be both.
So are you? You said shows. Are you performer?
Yeah, Mark, what were you thinking when you said that? Because I wasn't intending that he was a performer.
Well, essentially, what I was saying was, we went through, the ways you're going through the Church of Rock and Roll. You've been with the Hill Giants, so this would have been your thing to showcase your great performance or something in front of them.
Oh, what I was picturing with the tours is just that it's like traveling around doing adventure stuff
Oh, okay.
and things like that.
Oh.
Just using the term tour, but not actually playing music. So, that's fine. It was doing adventure stuff, not a show.
So
I think it's still,
Yeah,
you
okay.
say
still stands.
We'll retcon that.
Yeah.
You're still a celebrity to him.
Yeah.
you were just speaking of the Church and Rock and Roll, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I've never heard of this church. Is it new?
No, it's a pretty long-standing tradition in the Enclave.
Interesting. You'll have to tell me more about it sometime.
I would be happy to.
As you finish up, the bartender comes back, puts the ales in front of you as you have ordered, and he goes, "So, what brings you to Emberberg? Normally it's a lot more fun, but we have a little trouble with the light outside. We couldn't leave the light on for everyone." And he kind of like laughs to himself, like he's trying. It's like really depressing in this place.
I can tell you we did come for the fun, so we're a bit disappointed.
Well, the lights went out recently, and we Mayor Jome just so he's not here right now. Kind of went to go solve the problem, but and does anybody want to
What are these lights?
What happened to the mayor?
just to have you do roll an insight check, Iggy, while he answers that question. He goes, well, the pit outside is usually lit up pretty well, and it's now, dull and all the lights, and the arcane specialist can't really figure out how to do it. We don't really want to call in anyone from either the Dynasty or the Dominion. We kind of like to keep it chill here in the Enclave. There's only one thing we know of, and the mayor went to try to do that. What'd you roll, Ignatius? Say it again.
16.
16. You can tell that he's really sad and upset because he's come resigned to the fact that he may not see the mayor again in his mind.
Is there anything we can do to help?
Well, he did. That damn fool. He went to the Fire Opal Cave, which is just outside of town, to secure another fire crystal that sort of grows in there. But it's way too dangerous. Nobody that's gone in there has ever come back out. People have been trying to steal what we can do here for generations, and every time they go in that cave, no matter how good, they just don't come out. It's I'm worried.
Sounds like a damn fool for going in by himself, if you ask me.
Well,
Concur. This is an elected official that went in to find this. He didn't hire out anybody to try and figure this out. He did on his own time.
Right.
Yeah, to be honest, Dragonborns can be kind of stubborn. So, everybody he tried to go help him or go with him all did not want to go just because of the history. It's said that the cave is under the, have you guys ever heard of the Stick of the Six in this area? So for Rex and Surreal, roll history checks for me.
So a dirty 20. Another dirty 20.
9.
9. Okay. Surreal. The Six are like, for modern purposes, would be essentially like heads of mob families, essentially. And nobody really knows what they look like in particular. They just go by their names have been passed down from family to family, and they are known just by, in all stories and all that you've read on them, they are just known as the Unseen One, the Immortal, the Beast, the Sea Monster, the Brain Dead Oaf, and the Crooning Phantasm. And that is all that is known of them. There's no descriptions of what they look like or anything, and going into any location that is supposed to be run by them, unless if you are on their side or it's just certain death. That's what all the stories have told you.
Okay. Well, I have heard of the Six. That's not exactly a group you'd want to run into, singly or together as a group.
And this guy went in to one of their areas?
And the bartender goes, he thinks he can get in and out before they notice that he is even there. If you guys are able to and want to, I'd appreciate it if you went in and checked on Jome. But Yeah, and also, you're the first group to come through here in a while, so if you could secure crystals instead as well, that would work. You know, just something.
Are you an official of this town? Or are you? Excuse me, it sounds like you're giving us orders, and that just seems kind of weird. I'm just do you have a rank in this town, or are you just giving out this quest for everybody that comes into this here bar?
Honestly, it's only been, you know, a week or so that the lights have been out, and there's been no business in here. So I'm just trying to get this town back on its feet. I'm really the only, I guess you would call it the, like sort of the quote-unquote leader of the town, because everybody sort of knows my name.
Ignore him. I am willing to risk life and limb to prevent this place from being lame.
Okay. I come to understand that in certain unprecedented times, they can be really difficult on small business owners. Is that what the long and short of it is?
He's like, yeah, this bar is like the lifeblood of this town in terms of its mood and entertainment. But without the lights that inhabit here, this place, as you can tell, and as Rex has pointed out, it is very lame in here without the sort of brightness that the fire crystals provide us. So anything you can do to help would be great. Just sort of desperate at the moment, so that's why I'm just offering it to basically anybody. I tried to talk that guy, and he points to the drunk dwarf on the table, but he just said that he'll let me know if I gave him one more free ale. That was about 7 ales ago. And I think he might have been scamming me.
I think so.
Yes.
I think you're correct there.
Yeah.
I'll look at Barris and I'll say, you know, Barris, this is. What do you think?
I go to the bartender. Well, thank you, sir. We'll have a conversation about this quest you've given us, and we'll ask you any more questions if we have some. So we just need to have a private conversation about these going forwards.
Yeah. And he's like, if it's any consolation, I can offer some financial incentive if needed. We just really need the lights back on and our mayor to return.
Of course,
That
of course.
sounds great.
So he heads back behind the bar.
So, well, that was sort of the guy I was here to see. So apparently, he didn't really think too far ahead in his timeline,
I was going to
and
say,
told me to come here.
It's kind of rude of him, right? He says he was going to meet us, and then he just walks off to a cave.
It is very peculiar. Also, I don't understand why these small businesses just didn't plan for bad things to happen and just save their gold and their silver and their copper for times like this. I don't understand.
Can we get rid of? Do you want to just leave? I'd be really happy if you just left now.
I'll put up a hand, like just hold, please. Barris, we talked about this. You can't say these things.
It's a genuine, curious question.
Everybody is as fortunate as you are. We are still learning. We're still learning, but Rex, he seems to really love this place, and Captain, I mean, brought us here, and we do need to meet this man. What do you say?
Right, well, I will not do it for anything less than a lot of money, so we'll have to see what they're going to offer us.
It's very generous of you.
I'm gonna butt in real quick to Surreal. They might know more about what I've been looking for too, so couldn't hurt.
True. I mean, if the six are involved, there's a good chance we could find out more about both of our situations. So, all right, I'll do it for less than a lot of money. How about that?
That's good.
Yes, this is really hard for me to do that, but I will do that out of the kindness of my heart.
All right. We want to bring back King Bartender. He seems to be the.
I guess.
I'll motion over to. Did he give us his name? We didn't even ask his name. We're not good at this.
No, you aren't.
We're just trusting.
His name is
trusting
Bartender.
random.
Yeah, his name is Bartender. What's the big deal?
To be fair, we
Bartender.
did not believe that the bartender was going to start offering us jobs.
So he returns and he goes, so have you given thought to my offer?
So what is your name?
So my name is Magnus Bodenheimer. I am the proprietor of the Vivid Fire. So
I can't wait for Mark to mess up that name 700 times before the end of this.
But most people just call me
That
Magnus.
is a
Magnus.
very strong name, Magnus.
Yes,
It's a kingly name.
yes, it was my father's name, and once we set up shop here, I felt that the best thing I could do to honor his, I guess, love of drinking would be a kind way of putting it. I would at least make a bar that wasn't as depressing as the places he used to drag me around as a child.
Wow, that got heavy
That is
quickly.
very sad.
People say I don't have a filter. I don't know what they're talking about.
Starting to come to realize that I might have less of a filter as well. So I mean, understand.
I just kind of. All right, so the most I can offer is 1,000 gold for all of you. So I guess that'd be 200 apiece. If you can successfully bring both, the mayor back and a fire crystal as well. To be honest, and I'm just looking for at least one of those things to come back, so don't try to kill yourself over getting both.
Probably bring
Right.
back the person is, that would be probably more important, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
Is that what you got from that? Because that's not what I got from that.
So he goes,
I'm hoping.
and he goes, all right. So the cave is right behind town. It's like half hour. You guys should be able to get there before dark. I will let you finish your ale and just just come back and see me once you bring something back. Joe Montagna would be a big loss to this town, so we need him back as well. We can figure out the crystal thing later.
All right. Well, we'll do our best.
All right. So,
Raise my glass flow over.
so you guys finish your drinks, you get ready, and that is where we'll end the first episode.